Hello, and welcome to another session in our mobile app redesign for developers live stream. Here with our special guest, as always, Brandon Minnick. Hey, Brandon.
Hey, Luis. Good to see you again.
Yeah, it's been a week, but it's been an interesting week for our GitTrends project. We have some exciting news to tell our listeners. I see Ricardo in the chat. Hey, Ricardo. So we recently had to do a HotFix release, which was exciting. Our first, I guess, step one for the Android platform and GitTrends. It happens. Some recent changes happens, and Brandon's gonna give us a bit more context of how we discovered it and what was really happening. But yeah, first thing is welcome everyone. I hope you're having an awesome week and let's get right into it. So Brandon, what happened in the last 2 days with Get Trends and
Oh. Yeah, here, I'll let's walk you through the story. So if you want, go ahead and share my screen
okay,
and
there it
see
is.
status. So what we're looking at here is this is this is App Center. It's a tool we use to track crashes and things that are happening on the app. And what what we can see here is there's something that's not great. We had this error that kept happening. So you can see 208 times, 24 different users. So it's not like it's a minor occurrence, especially I think usually. Actually, let's see how many active users we have. Ta-da! Whoops. Keep them both side by side. There we go. So yeah, I mean we've got about 27 weekly active users, 70 monthly active users. And so for this error to be happening to 24 users, that's almost our entire weekly active users, 208 times. Like it is happening multiple times. And if we look closely, the reason is there's a 400 bad requests coming back, and you can kind of look at this stack trace here and maybe make this a little bigger. Oh, nope, too big.
Perfect.
Uh, so the stack trace is saying we have this GitHub authentication service inside the app, and there's a method inside of it called authorize session. And this triggers when the user has successfully authenticated with GitHub. GitHub sends you back to GitTrends with, it's not necessarily, I guess it's kind of like a token. Really what it is GitHub, once you're done with the authentication, we give GitHub a redirect URL. So if anybody's done any website stuff, it's pretty similar with mobile, except the URL isn't an actual URL. You can make up whatever you want. So for us, it's GitTrends : is the website. But yeah, we've registered that with the app. So the app knows anytime a browser on the phone tries to open GitTrends : that it should launch in our app. And so yeah, GitHub says, all right, you have successfully logged in with your username and password. I'm going to send you back to the app by launching this GitTrends : website. And when it does that, it also includes two query parameters. One is a, well, let's not make it up. Let's just go right into the code. Make that nice and big. Woo! There we go. So we have two we have two parameters that we parse from that URL. One is called code. One's called state. Code is a unique code that's a one-time code generated just for this OAuth login. OAuth is the login flow that is probably pretty standard if you've written any user login stuff, especially if you're authenticating with a different provider like we are with GitHub. But anyways, so we get this one-time use code that GitHub gives our user that says, okay, tell your app this code, and then we can connect. And then the other one is state, and state is actually provided by us. This is just a GUID that we generate, and it's a unique ID that ensures there's no man-in-the-middle attack. So GitHub sends that back to us to let us know that, like, basically that's our way of authenticating that this round trip happened all securely. And then the code is what we pass on to, to finish the OAuth process, to say, like, yep, here's the code we got, GitHub, you can officially connect us together. So what was happening is, let's see, where'd our error messages go? There we go. So we're inside of this authentication service authorized method. And in here, we try to generate that OAuth token. So basically, we give this code back to GitHub via the app. And GitHub says, okay, great. Yep, that's the same code I gave the user when they successfully logged in. I know I can trust you now. And then they give us the glorious OAuth token that we use from then on to keep the user authenticated in the app. Well, let's see. Do this and this. So the problem was we kept getting a 400 bad request back. This generate GitTrends OAuth token is actually a API that I created. So this is an Azure function that uses basically it handles all this stuff for us. And I figured, let me just put this in the cloud, because if it ever breaks, then I can change it in the cloud. I don't have to release a mobile app update. Happy days. And so when the user calls this, let's get into here. There we go. So this is the interface for that API. And we provide them this DTO. DTO is data transfer object. It's
we lost you, Brandon. I think you muted yourself. There you are. You're back.
So
we lost you on explaining DTO.
Yeah, so DTO, you could call it a model. DTO just means this is a data transfer object. It's not going to do anything. It's just going to contain some data. So it just passes on that same login code in the state to Azure Functions web API I created. And then that API is actually what does the handshake with the official GitHub APIs and then sends back that beautiful, beautiful GitHub token. So yeah, for some reason, if we go back to here, let's see. Version all last 30 days. So yeah. Oh wait, is the chart here? Yeah, there's the chart. So you can see this almost never happened. Like, it occasionally did happen, and like API requests are gonna fail in a mobile app. So that's perfectly normal, because maybe the user force quit the app before the authentication flow is done. Maybe the user's on a train and lost internet connection. So not too concerned over here. But then you can see this huge spike on June 19th. And so something happened on June 19th, which I'm not still totally sure. I have some guesses, but I don't know what caused it. But June 19th, all this started happening. And huge shout out to the folks who reached out. Somebody reached out to me on Reddit, sent me a message and said, it's like, hey man, love the app, but for some reason, something changed, and like my login token expired, and now I can't log back in. And so he helped me troubleshoot some things, like, okay, what if you delete the app, reinstall it? What if you, because that token can also be saved in Chrome, because we actually launched the Chrome browser to do this OAuth flow. So it's like, what if you tried deleting your cookies in Chrome, try this, try that? Nothing could fix it. And it's like, wow, this is really weird. But also at the same time, you're the only one I've heard from. So I don't really know what to do here. I know now. I mean, it's easy to look back on these things and put the pieces together. So we also had, and this one is kind of a bummer, but appreciate it. Got a 1-star review where he said he was unable to log in, tried multiple times. So like, this is a different user, similar symptoms. It's like, okay, I think we have a problem. And it was right after this review came in that I texted Luis. I was like, hey man, can you launch the app real quick and see if you can log in? And he's like, oh no, I can't. This is bad. So yeah, we're just scrambling. Like, why is this returning an error now? And I mean, I'll show you the fix. The fix is literally, let me close that. That API, or the data we're sending for the API, we have to give it that generate token DTO. And so we use a tool called refit that will automatically, just by having this body tag here, it'll serialize this C# object and put it in the HTTP request body. And so that's what this is doing. And the fix was literally to add the word true. And if you're curious, true just means that it'll be buffered. I really can't explain much other than I just happened to see a similar problem. We're working on this new update for GitTrends where we're working on the organizations page. And during this time, I also, I don't want to say I changed the backend, but I added a second backend. So we actually have two Azure functions right now. One's in a staging slot, and that staging slot contains the updated Azure functions. I didn't touch the old Azure functions, or at least I didn't think I did. So that should all be the same exact code. That way the users with the current version of the app can work with the current API, and then we can deploy this new API that the new version of the app will use, and eventually we'll deprecate the old one. Pretty standard stuff. But when I was working on the new one, I got a similar error. Like one of the unit tests was failing with that same bad request. And I had already figured out that we needed to buffer the data in the body for this request. So by saying true, that fixed that failing unit test. So yeah, when we were digging through like what's actually going on, we were able to replicate it. Thankfully, because a bug you can't replicate is just the worst. So once we were able to replicate it and figure out like, okay, this is what's going on, that's when we were able to dig into these logs and find out like, oh, yep, actually, this is it. This is the problem. And we could kind of drill down. And yeah, just kind of on a whim, I was like, I wonder if it's the same bug that I hit when I'm working on the new version of the app. And sure enough, it is. So I don't know. This is the head scratcher. I don't know necessarily what broke it. It definitely could have been me playing around with updating the Azure Functions backend. I mean, I was doing everything in a staging slot, but I did swap slots a couple times when I was testing things out, just to make sure everything would work. I mean, put it right back within minutes. So again, it should still be the original code, but the other weird thing is this bug was only happening on Android. I'm an iOS user. I mean, I selfishly made this app for me because it's something I wanted. And I use the app every day. So that was another thing when the first person reached out. It was like, I can't log in. I was like, okay, it's probably something with your phone because it's working fine on my phone. But difference being I use an iOS device. That person was using an Android device. And so, yeah, this didn't break iOS, but only Android. It happened on June 19th when we can go back in time and see that spike. And so, I don't know, maybe Azure Functions updated something. Maybe something changed in the Android network stack. Because we haven't pushed out a release. Like we've been saving it. We're coming up on a new release. So we didn't change any of our code in the mobile app. The code on the back end should also be the same. So I don't know. Those are my guesses. Is either I did something dumb when I was swapping staging slots, playing around with the new API for the new version of the app, or Azure Functions pushed out maybe it was a security patch or something that tweaked things. Maybe it's a combination of both. But yeah, we got this 1-star review, which is kind of a bummer. I did respond to it. I let them know. And they don't show the timestamp here. We actually, in under 2 hours from him posting this 1-star review, we were able to find the bug, fix it, ensure all the unit tests were passing, and deploy it to the App Store. So awesome response time. I think
our
that
sub 1 team was on point.
But yeah, I let them know. It's like, we just fixed the bug. We just pushed the update. And version 2.2.1 is available for download right now. So if anybody else listening has hit the same bug, you're good. Just go to the App Store, update it.
Yep.
But yeah, it's never fun receiving that 1-star review. But at the same time, I'm glad he did, because otherwise this bug would have probably been around until we pushed out a new version of the app.
Yeah, so, or maybe like until I open it again, because like this happened to 19. For some reason, I have not been able to like open it in this past week. So some other person noticed it and reached out to us. We wouldn't have seen it, right? And thanks to this, I think something interesting we can work on as a future new feature, right, for the app, is like implementing the word just left my mind. It's like when you want to update and force that update, like deprecating older versions. So if we found like this version had that issue, we can literally ask the user, hey, you gotta update to continue using the app. So we can like maybe add something like that for those extreme cases.
I've done that in other apps where basically, so in GitTrends, I think I have it running right now. Cool. Like if I log out, the next time I launch the app, it does this. It just brings up this, we call this the welcome page. But it's just a modal page. You can't do anything in the app except click one of these buttons. I've done something similar in other apps where, when the app launches, it checks a flag on the back end. So it hits an API and says, is there like an important message I need to display? And then it'll cover the app with a modal page like this. So I don't know if I want to block the user, but I usually do that for announcements. So it's like, what's new in the app? The thing you hate when you launch an app, and you're like, get out of here. I'm trying to use the app. And I'm like, I'm trying to tell you about new features so you can appreciate it. But something like this, like we could have an announcement pop up, be like, known problem in version 2.2, make sure to update. And we could have something like that, which is probably not a bad idea, but
like a disaster recovery type of thing, but not really. It's just more like something really bad happened. This behavior is because of this. So please update.
Yeah. Well, and the ironic thing is, I don't know, Luce, do you use Snapchat?
I have a long time without using it.
So Snapchat had a big bug this week where it would immediately crash as soon as you launched the app. And similar story, right? Like if like they didn't have any way to let the user know, like, hey, we're working on this. But the problem I hated on my phone is I had a push notification from Snapchat. So like I tried to open the app to see like, oh, like what's the new message? And then like the app would crash immediately. And
so
like,
it would never close the push.
Right. But like sometimes that happens. Like sometimes I've even seen it happen in GitTrends, and honestly I don't know what the bug is. Otherwise I would have fixed it. But yeah, sometimes if you let GitTrends, if you just leave it in the background without force quitting it, and then you open it a couple days later, it'll crash. I have a hunch it has something to do because we run a background service to like keep the app up to date. So like you'll have the latest info in there if you happen to open on a plane next time you open it and you don't have Wi-Fi or something weird like that. But I have a hunch that it's like the background service might still be working and something's interfering. But it's one of those things like, sometimes you open an app and it crashes, but then you just open it again and everything's fine. So that's what I thought was happening with Snapchat. Turns out it was just like no bug. And when like Wired starts writing articles about your app crashing like they did for Snapchat, then you've got a big problem. But so eventful week. didn't do much for adding new features. A little preoccupied with other things, but yeah, glad to get that done. I mean, if anybody wants to see, like, we did release. Oh, this is another cool thing we should share. So,
oh wait, we have some comments from the chat here. I see Ricardo says, "Oh, okay." He said that when we were showing the DTO, he was surprised that we are already using records in GitTrends.
Yeah, and dude, that came out with C#9. We're almost on C#10.
That's something I also like about our project, is that like any new thing we try to test on GitTrends, right? So you're gonna find all those nice goodies. Brandon already implemented all of them and has been playing around with them. So yeah, you can see how they work and how you're gonna structure it, right?
Yeah, I mean, I love records. I wanted records for a long time because I'm a big fan of immutable data, so data that you cannot change. I'm a firm believer that almost every model should be immutable, because usually you use models for doing things like loading data from a database, retrieving data from an API. And what I found is if you put that into, we'll show you right here. So for example, if you have a list of things coming back from an API, put it in an read-only list. So that means it's in a list. You can't add or remove anything from this list. If we look at our NuGet package model here, like, yep, that's a record. So you can't ever change the value of a record. You have to instantiate a new object. And so this means that the response we get back from this Git libraries API request will always be what lives on the server. So that's why I love immutable data, and that's what records give you out of the box. If you go back in time and look at the code, all of our classes were, before we swapped them out for records, we were already using immutable classes. It's just immutable classes require you to write a lot of code, because you have to type out the constructor yourself. You have to make everything read only. You have to wire everything up in the constructor. So it was kind of a no-brainer once records came out. I was like, yep, I'm jumping on that. But yeah, highly recommend records.
Yeah. And the next question he has is, when we were talking about the auto update feature, right? Like the force update. He says, I know that in App Center you can automate build and run your tests, but can you configure the deploy tool? Or are you using another tool to deploy to the App Store? To the App Store and Play Store. Yeah. But App Center.
App Center has that option. I haven't wired up to my Google Play account or iTunes account. But yeah, if you go into App Center under distribute, you can go to stores, and then you can connect it, and you can tell it to automatically release. But why don't I do it? Well, a couple of reasons. I mean, one is, I'm the only person who can publish new versions, so it's kind of different. Like if you're on a team of people and you have 5 people who have the ability to do it, then things can get a little messy, because maybe one person wants to deploy it to the App Store, another person says, no, it's not ready yet. Like, who wins that battle? With App Center, there's no gates. So what I would recommend, if you're looking into doing that, Ricardo, is check out Azure DevOps. Azure DevOps is much, much more robust than App Center. I mean, App Center is Azure DevOps under the hood. It's just got a kind of simpler user interface to it. But yeah, with Azure DevOps, you can actually set up approval gates. So you can have everything happen and it's ready to be deployed to the App Store or to the Google Play Store. But somebody on the team has to approve it. But yeah, I like manually doing it, because mostly just I want to be in charge of it. And also I don't want to have a release accidentally deploy to the store, and me be unaware of it. So yeah, it's something that, pushing an app to the App Store requires me to, I come in here, I manually archive for publishing. And then when you do that, you get, let's see, there we go. So now you have like a signed copy of your app, and then you can manually upload it to the store, add the release notes. So I kind of like going through that manually. But if I was, if I was at a bigger team that released all the time, like I'm sure you see like Facebook, Instagram, Facebook Messenger, those apps always have updates in the App Store like every week, every 2 weeks. YouTube, Google's pretty good about that too. Then yeah, you definitely want to automate it, but we don't have a fast enough cadence for all of that. So yeah, we've got CI set up. Like if I go back to the repo, whoop, you can see, right now it's failing, but it's failing because we merged the main branch before adding in the new translations for this new feature we're working on, but that's okay. So yeah, I think CI is a good thing. I think CI can also, you can definitely overdo CI a bit. But check out Azure DevOps for doing that stuff. I wouldn't do it in App Center.
I kind of agree as well with you in the case of GitTrends that we don't have that part set up, like the auto deployment and everything, because as you said, this project is still kind of small, right, in terms of team collaborating on it and the releases, but also because a lot of the features we're developing are changing a lot the UI UX. So those screenshots and what we want to publish in the store, so the listing looks good, we also are like playing around with that a lot. So it kind of makes sense for us to have it still kind of manual, so we can control, okay, now we need to create the screenshots. What are we going to modify? Let's do this. How are we going to word this? But definitely, like in big projects, I agree with you. You can automate this. Maybe have something to automate creating the screenshots as well and uploading them. Mm-hmm. But for this, I would say it's kind of overkill, and we will kind of waste our time automating it, because either way we want to have that control of when we want to deploy it, what has to go, what screenshots do we want to select. So yeah, I think it keeps it more in control this way for us.
Yeah, and like if deploying to the app stores took half a day, then I'd probably look into automating it. Or if we had 10 people on the team and we would push out to the app store every night, then I'd probably automate it. But right now it's not really a problem I have. So I don't want to over-engineer a solution that I don't need, that could actually potentially harm me, because maybe it pushes the app store, or maybe I thought it pushed it to the app store, but I didn't check and a unit test actually failed, so it didn't. And so this hotfix that we did never made it, and it's still been 5 days since we published it to the app store. But now good question.
It adds a whole another layer of problems that could happen and complexity. Like I agree, but
it just doesn't solve a problem yet. But so one thing I did want to touch on before we necessarily jump into the code, kind of rounding out how we did this hotfix. So I mentioned just a second ago, like the main branch is up to date. It's got this feature for the organization stuff that we're working on in it. And we released, like if I go to the releases page here, we released version 2.2 April 6th. So this is the version that has the bug in the App Store. And all we needed to do was add this literally not even one line of code, just 4 letters of code to fix it. So kind of we had two paths we could have gone down, where we could take the app that we have on the main branch, and I could comment out a couple lines of code, like, the app. I'll jump back into it here. So really the only thing different in the app is we have this include organizations toggle. So I could have just come back in here and just commented out this UI. So pretty much everything would look the same. I mean, you'd see this is organized slightly different now in version 2.3, but we could have pushed that out with this bug fix. But because this was such a bad bug, like Luis was saying earlier, like this is Sev 1. This is blocking users from using the app. I didn't want to risk publishing any new code other than this very surgical bug fix. And so when I figured out what the fix was, I came to GitHub and it's like, shoot, we are so far ahead of main. Like, I think I took a screenshot and sent it to Luis. I was like, we're like 90 commits ahead of the main branch right now. But what I learned, and highly recommend this, is, well, anytime you release your app, save it as a release in GitHub, because when you do that, you can actually branch off of your release. So all I had to do was come into here and say, I'm on, actually, that's the new version of the bug fix. So if I'm on version 2.2.0, I can create a branch off of that and then just do this one surgical bug fix, and then we're good to go. So GitHub saves all this for you. And as long as you publish a release to GitHub, or even if you want to, tags are kind of the same thing. We won't go too deep into that. A release is a tag, but a tag is not a release. But yeah, if you have that tag, what it's done is it's snapshotted your code. So like,
it created a release branch basically. Yep.
Yeah, and like you can even see right here, like this is the source code that was version 2.2.0, and this is the source code for the new version 2.2.1. Like these are snapshotted here forever. So it was actually very easy to do this and still not impact the work we're doing here on the live stream with the new feature. Not have to worry about like, oh gosh, did I finish writing all the unit tests like for the new feature? I mean, I wrote a bunch of unit tests, but did I catch everything? I'm going to be fixing this bug, but just adding a new bug. So yeah, publish releases in GitHub. Make sure you have that snapshot in time, because when you need to go do hot fixes, it's super easy. I know some people that try to do this or do it with branches. So like the main branch will only be what's in the App Store, or maybe it's the website that's been published. I don't like doing that. I found it's really hard to work with open source collaborators, because everybody wants to open up a pull request to the main branch, which yeah, totally safe assumption. But like when I start reaching out to folks to say like, hey Luis, could you translate all this new text to Spanish? By no fault of his own, he'll open up a pull request to the main branch. I'm like, oh no, Luis, it was actually in the feature branch. And having to explain that to people with open source projects where you're just relying on other people to donate their time, then having them donate all this time that you have to throw away and they have to redo all their work. It's not good, and you don't need it. So you don't have to keep your main branch that pure. This is what's in the App Store. Same thing with NuGet packages. NuGet packages. If you ever publish a NuGet package, I have this async await best practices one that's available on NuGet, and same. Like I publish everything as a release. So if you're on version, what's the newest version? I think I pushed a pre-release. So yeah, if you want to check out the pre-release and you want to see the code that's in that, then all you have to do is click on it here in GitHub. Click on the tag here. And now you can see we're looking at only the code that is in that release, and you can dig through and look at the source code and all that fun stuff to see like, I'm getting a weird error in this NuGet package. So yeah, moral of the story, don't worry about keeping your main branch up to date, especially if it's an open source thing, because nobody's going to be able to follow your team's weird flow just keep main with the latest, greatest code, publish your releases so your users can find that, and then it might even save your butt when you have to push out a hotfix.
Yep, I totally agree. It's and this is also, if you're familiar with, like, to anyone listening, like with Git flow, this is something we normally do working in enterprise level, right? And big projects. You're supposed to keep your Git branches organized, and if you're gonna do a release, have a release branch and keep basically what Brandon was mentioning, like a snapshot of what was released and what was the status of the code for that version, right? Because if you have to do a hotfix, you should branch off that one because that has the what is in production, right? So yeah, it's definitely really cool that GitHub does all of this for you behind the scenes. And yeah, I would definitely recommend everyone, as you're saying, to take advantage of this. If you don't need to do it the old way, just creating like new branches, new release branches, and all those merges.
So many branches.
GitHub is gonna handle it. Yeah,
I used to do that too. Yeah, it's even, let's say, because I work on the Xamarin Community Toolkit, and we don't do what I just said. We have the main branch, and then we have this develop branch. And so, like, if you were to open a pull request in Xamarin Community Toolkit, then like, okay, I don't want to actually open one. I just want to get that. Let's see. If I create this, it's not actually going to create it. Okay, cool. Not yet. So yeah, now like, look at all this stuff you have to read. It's like, hey, make sure you're targeting the correct branch. So if you're going to fix a bug, you got to target the main branch. If you're adding a new feature, you got to put that in the develop branch. It's like, why? Like, there's just no reason for that other than overcomplicating things, because look, we still publish our releases right here. So well, I'm gonna push this team to change that going forward, because it's such a headache. Yeah, like, I'll review a pull request and it's like, oh, this is a bug fix, and they're targeting the develop branch, not the main branch. Then you retarget it to main, and then it breaks everything in the pull request. And same thing, like, similar with GitTrends, like, nobody's making money off this. Like, this is all just community stuff. And so to go back to somebody like, hey, yeah, I guess you didn't read the fine print when you opened the pull request, you targeted the wrong branch, and so now you have to redo all the work. It's just like, why?
They'll be like, yeah, I don't really have time to redo everything, so
oh yeah. No, literally, like, we were just talking the other day about, like, we got to start closing pull requests, because there's a bunch of stale ones where like a big commit came in, and they when we enabled nullable, we turned nullable warnings as errors on. And so if you had any possible null dereference of a null exception, I forget how that is worded, but yeah, if you had a possibility for a null reference exception in your code, it's now an error, and like, you got to fix it. Sorry, but yeah, we're gonna have to start closing pull requests, because not necessarily poor Git flow, but headaches like that can arise from kind of overthinking things. So GitHub's got your back. Moral of the story: don't worry about it. Just always publish a release when you push to the App Store or push to NuGet or publish your website. Just always publish that release. Then you'll forever have a snapshot in GitHub that you can always branch off of later.
And a really nice UI that even everybody that visits the project can get, like, their artifacts and everything. So yeah, that's a plus as well. Because when you have the branches, where are the artifacts? Like, you have to change to the branch generated.
Right.
Use it.
Well, and then let's say you're patching the hotfix. Well, now that branch doesn't match what's in the App Store.
Yep.
So you just got to broke your own rule. Anyways, what are we doing today, Luis?
Yeah, doing a quick time check. We are at 1 minute away from half of the hour, so I guess we can now shift back gears to what we left off on last week. If I remember correctly, last week we created a great pull request, a draft pull request, where we have listed all the pending work that we were gonna do this week. So yeah, let's go through those bullet points and let's see what we had there. And did we organize them by priority or
Of course
no? Oh, okay, yeah.
This was like we had 2 minutes left in the stream. It's like,
Oh yeah,
right, let's jot this down, otherwise we're gonna forget it.
Yeah, so we can go through it and select what we're gonna work, and I think we
Click.
can probably complete all of them in this hour. If not, let's try and get at least like 60-70% of them done, right?
That's ambitious. If we get another one done, I'll call that a win.
Hey, we are what do they call it in tech Twitter? Like I remember long ago on tech Twitter, like the 10x developers, you know. Right now we are 10x developers, okay? We can handle this and 3 more pull requests.
I don't think I can even type fast enough to do all these in an hour.
Yeah.
Let alone like compilation times but here, let me show you because you haven't even seen this yet, let alone everybody else in the stream. So I added the images here. So look how good that looks, right?
Nice. It's coming alive.
Yeah, I haven't made the GIF yet, but one thing I changed, and you can see it here between this sneak peek, is I made this a lot smaller.
Yeah.
Vertically. And I did that on purpose because after we were done, I opened this up on well, let me finish that story. So after we were done, I opened this up on just a smaller iPhone, like I think it's like the iPhone SE or the iPhone 8, whatever has a smaller screen, and noticed that this carousel view actually like disappeared off the bottom. So like you didn't even see the indicators anymore. You didn't know it was a carousel view. And what I realized was we noticed this on the stream last week when we were using the Android app. Let's see if I have that up. Whoop. And let's see what version's on here. After the HotFix stuff, this might just be the latest App Store version. Actually, I think it is. But anyways, yeah, on the Android app, we noticed that. Like, we noticed, like, that was weird. Like, the margin between the bottom of this carousel view is a lot smaller. And we even kind of called it out here with, like, that was part of this fix the margins.
Yeah.
And, yeah, it turns out that the settings page, so this is the HotFix one. The settings page, this is a scroll view because all these options on a smaller screen won't fit. And so the carousel view is sizing itself based off of that scroll view. So we can't really say like, what am I trying to say? So like this is a grid inside of a scroll view. So I was originally saying like take up like 90% of the page. So have little margins on the top and bottom, but basically you just expand out to the full grid. So yeah, I just decided to make it smaller. It makes more sense when you see it on a smaller device like whatever this iPhone 8 launches. So that was probably is the biggest change that we didn't talk about last time. And then, I went ahead and added these images here and put some padding around them to try and make it look nice. But yeah, other than that, we still have all these to-dos to go. I don't even know if we've settled on wording yet for the titles and the descriptions. Like this background opacity overlay, that's not going to be easy because this is a scroll view. So
yeah, we can maybe leave that for the end, I would say, like one of the last one we tried. Because it's like a nice to have, but it's not essential, right? It still works right now.
Yeah, but one nice thing is, because remember we were talking about like adding an X to close it, because right now if you click around, it doesn't close. Like I'm clicking all over the app. Oh, it actually even triggers that.
Oh, I was gonna ask you that. Yeah, if it goes through.
So yeah, the opacity overlay will prevent the user from clicking any of these buttons in the background.
Yeah.
That's not good. Like I could probably actually toggle this off and on. Oh,
yeah, there it is.
That's kind of cool. And so the overlay, we could actually disable all those buttons, and we could give the overlay a touch gesture recognizer.
Yep.
It says if the overlay is tapped, then we could tell it to dismiss this carousel view as well. So I do like the idea of the overlay. It's just
I will leave it to the
it's gonna take a little bit of work.
And also because
not as easy as it sounds.
We have the idea, we know it's like a functional thing we want to add, but I would say like coming up with the text and the descriptions, that's kind of hard for us. None of us are like really good writers, I would say. So I guess if we knock that off, I will feel like really a lot of progress, right? Because we can start asking for translations and we can continue working like on the overlay and everything. And while we get that overlay done, maybe the translations also come in at the same time and we can like release everything together, no?
That sounds good. Yeah, I'd say, trying to think like what would be the easiest. I mean, probably adding this button to the last page would be the easiest thing. I mean, titles and descriptions, it's not hard, but it's also not like, it's like writing a book. You're like, you got to think of what to write.
So definitely I will go first with the button. Maybe if you want to add the X temporarily, we can add it as well to the top. And I think that should be it for now, because the others are all related to the description, the GIF, and that opacity overlay, right?
Ooh, I did that too. Boop. So you'll notice that one was our corners here weren't perfectly aligning.
Nice.
Look at them now. Ooh.
So you switch it for a pancake view now. Nice.
Oh man, I did a lot of things. So let's show you that code real quick. Let's see. So right now we're in there we go. So put it all in a frame. Is this a pancake view? Oh, it's a material frame. Yeah.
Okay.
So, excuse me, material frame. That's how we got the little elevation with the shadow underneath it.
Yeah.
So what I ended up doing, I just added that overlay, this opacity overlay, to the frame itself. That way it'll clip to the bounds of the frame. We don't have to worry about lining things up.
Yep.
And then this carousel view is underneath it. So you can see like they're in the same row. It's just the carousel view spans 2 rows. And then that bottom row is actually this indicator. So the indicator is, you can kind of see the layers, right? Like there's just a green background, or this is just a green background. And then on top of it is this is a pancake view.
Exactly.
That it's the same background, or it's a white background color on this pancake view that we just give an opacity of 0.25. So it kind of gives this effect that it's got a lighter color here, but really it's 2 things on top of each other. And then on top of that is where the image is sitting. So, but yeah, it works. And so, the nice thing with Pancake View, it allows you to change the radius per corner. And that was another big thing was, like material frame doesn't give you that. The Xamarin Forms frame doesn't let you, like, Pancake View is the only thing I'm aware of that allows you to change the radius per corner.
Thank you, Steven. So, you keep giving to our project.
So we have nice sharp edges here at the bottom, nice sharp corners, and then here we're able to round them off with the same corner radius as the frame.
Yep. Perfect.
Woo! So lots of trickery going on.
But it looks really clean. Like, it looks really pixel perfect, because if we didn't have this pancake view, then we might have just left those little overlay corners there, because you couldn't really notice it unless you're in dark theme. So this definitely polishes even more the design, right?
Oh, certainly.
Nice. And I like the little octocat we got.
That's an Inspecto cat.
Yeah.
See, this is the name of the image.
I think we'll have to find a way to add the attributions to, because they're like open source, and a user from GitHub created that one. So I think we'll have to find a way on how to give the attributions to him, right? Because I know our libraries come from the dependency, right, of the project, and the contributors come from our GitHub. So if we want to add a custom one, we'll have to figure out
Yeah,
a way of how to do that, right?
I think we'll be fine. So I have all these just resources listed here,
Oh
and
yeah, we can definitely add it there then. Yeah.
yeah, in here is like undraw.co, empty states. So
Yeah, makes
we'll add it
sense.
into here, and put a link
Yep.
to the inspectocat. But I think
Yeah, that
that'll
works.
cover us from both a moral and a legal standpoint. So
Yeah.
I I, I don't know what anybody's gonna get if they sue GitTrends. It doesn't make any money, uh,
Exactly.
but yeah, I definitely do want to give a shout out to the creator of inspectocat
The
because
most they can
they did a
get
good
is
job.
like us doing like a whole episode just about any topic they want. Like, okay, I'm gonna sue you. Hey, the most I can do is 2 hours of my time on anything you want me to talk about. Yeah. So, all right. So let's start working with the button, right? I think that should be the first thing we should tackle.
Sure. I mean, let's see. So I don't know if I actually have a row for the button yet. So let me check that first. We've got this data template because carousel views are like lists. They use data templates. So everything you swipe back and forth between is exactly the same. And then you just bind your model to what you want to appear here. So yeah, right now I just have, well, the first row is either going to be the video or a static image. Um, and then we have the title, and then we have the description. So yeah, I don't really have anything to put the button in yet. Um, so let's play around with some of this stuff. Let's see how much room we have to work with. I can put a background color here on this label. And then we'll add in a row called GitHub button. Why not? And for now, just to kind of see how things fall out, let's do a button with a background color equals cyan, something. I always try to make like when I'm debugging. Well, I put the background colors here. You'll see in a second, so that we can see the spacing. Um,
Mm-hmm.
because let me go ahead and get rid of iPhone 8. Boop. Because yeah, what we don't see here is this description label actually fills up all this space.
Yeah.
And we just don't see that because there's no background color to it, which is good. That's what we want in the final app. But now we're going to be tweaking things, adjusting things. So I want to see how much space do I get with this new grid layout. So that's why I'm slapping in some background colors here. So we'll put this button in the GitHub button row.
And I would say also something that really helps is that I like working with horizontal options and vertical options can sometimes be kind of funky, if you don't have them fresh, like how they behave, right? So having that background also helps you to easily like set the proper horizontal or vertical options and tweak easier, right? Because you can visually see the spacing and how it's behaving and everything.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, that's why debug rainbows exists.
Yeah,
Great
we have
library.
it on the project. We're not using it because we're doing it a bit quicker with this right now. But yeah, definitely, guys, use it.
Yeah. One thing I found with debug rainbows. So, what is debug rainbows? Debug rainbows assigns a random background color to every piece of UI in your app. So
Yeah.
you'll launch the app and it's like this rainbow of colors, and it's helpful, but at the same time, it can also make
Creates a
things.
lot of noise.
Yeah. So I've had it where like the same color will overlap, and then I'm trying to figure out like, okay, is that the background for this or this? And so yeah, I just end up going back and just doing this more surgical approach. But yeah, I mean, those debug rainbows, especially, you can also add grid lines. Those are super helpful too. So it'll draw vertical and horizontal grid. Your app will look like a piece of graph paper has been laid over top of it. And that's so helpful for trying to align things. You're like, I don't know, this looks a little off. And like, oh yeah, like this icon is sticking out a little bit farther than this icon. And you don't really notice until you have that vertical line there.
Yeah. And I see Ricardo says, rainbow helps, but sometimes I get lost using it. It's so many colors, but yeah, it's true. I think Steven has a part of the documentation that like you can like scope it, right? You can deactivate it completely and then just activate it in certain like the root view, and that's gonna only have it there. I've not really spent that much time looking at all the configurations, so I would say this is easier for us right now because we don't need to go back to documentation. But I think there's a way that you can like only have it activated where you need it, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think you can activate it per content page if you want to. All right, so I was kind of afraid of this because this overlay doesn't exist in this data template. So that kind of hand wavy magic stuff we were doing earlier has bit us a little bit, but I think.
But we can add it, no?
We pop that. Add what?
Let me see. Because I was gonna say like we can add the overlay to the data template because.
No.
Why not?
So that's how it originally was. And the corners just won't line up. And then what ends up happening is when you swipe, you'll see the overlay go off.
Okay.
Specifically because the data template has the rounded corners. So when you swipe, you'll see, if you can picture like two rounded corners next to each other, there's a little dip.
Yeah.
So yeah, I noticed when you swipe, you'll see that
like,
little dip in the opacity. And it's just like, wait, what was that? So
yeah.
I mean, what we probably should do is we should give this a absolute
height. Value. Yeah.
So let's see if this organization's carousel frame. So that right now is relative. So if we make this absolute, this means the image will always be the same size no matter what size your display is. Is there a way?
I mean, that's the idea, no? Because
either way, it's exactly half. So this is 1 star, this is 4 stars. Okay, so if we ensure this data template is always half, which 1, 2, 4. So right now it's not.
Okay, so 4 and 4.
Is that right?
But it was 4 before, no?
It was 4. Did I jump to a conclusion there? So so there's 8 stars and proportionally overlays 4, so that's half. Yeah, just a minute ago this was 4. Didn't have that.
Let's see.
Well, we can see what it looks like real quick. So what's different here? The overlay is always going to be 4. So if the image is 4, but right now we just change it. Oh, that's right, because there's an indicator view here. So the carousel view is only it doesn't span into the indicator row. Maybe we should have it span.
Yeah.
If we span it, then
if we put too much text, then there is a chance that the text is gonna be behind or in front of the indicator.
So I think that's the thing to keep in mind then, is like we just have to make sure we don't put too much text. But yeah, if we do so we almost need another row here in the data template to account for this blank space. That would probably be the best thing going forward. Let's see. But then that's always going to be 1/8. Oh, this math. So yeah, the indicator row is always 1 out of 8 stars proportionally. So if we added an indicator row here to reserve that, then it would always have to be proportionally 1/8 of everything. Oh gosh, we can make this work. But I'm not going to remember this when if we ever tweak this UI. Ooh.
Yeah.
I always have to throw it out and start over. But yeah, let's do that. Let's say a new empty view row will be row.indicator. Was empty view not? That's a base class, so we have to do a box view then.
Yeah.
So that'll be the indicator view, and we'll have to add that here as row.indicator. And let's see. So everything else just has to add up. So no matter what, we're working in multiples of 8.
Yeah.
And I just missed a comma. There we go. So, all right. So the image has to be half, and this has to be 1/8. So we could, let's see, if we made this 8, then this could be a star, and then these would have to add up to, so shoot. So we have 8 to work with, so these would have to add up to 7. So this could be like a 2, 4, 7. That math checks out, right? No, this would have to be 2 stars. Now there's 16. Oh, shoot. Am I doing this wrong? All right. So 8 plus 2 is 10, plus 5 is 15, 16, 17. Change that title down to 1. All right. So these should add up to 16. 8 plus 1 is 9. 9 plus 3 is 12. Plus 4 is 16. The indicator view is 1/8, just like it is up here. The image is half, just like it is up here.
Let's see.
Probably should just use like an absolute layout or relative layout.
I don't like relatives. But yeah, since it's not gonna have too much stuff.
I used to almost exclusively use relative layouts. That was my jam back in the day.
But until we discover all the performance issues.
As I say, yeah, grids are just like, if you're doing any sort of complex layout, either absolute layout or a grid. Otherwise, you're gonna have the potential for performance problems. So
yeah.
we'll see how this shakes out. So we should have the indicator view. We should have the button above it with a background color. The label has a background color. And everything should be perfect. Oh, let me turn it off. Reminder to stand up and stretch. Not doing that right now.
Nice.
All right. Not too
It
bad.
works.
So,
Oh, something I noticed here, we need to take out of the grid the spacing, the default spacing between the rows. You see how the bottom
yeah.
has a spacing between the thing? Yeah. Perfect.
All right. So that'll be great. So yeah, let me add some comments here now that we've figured this all out. Say must be half, must be 1/8. And must be 1/8 of, we'll say, of total height. And I'll make that a fraction as well. Well, I'll say to match organizations carousel frame. Frame. There we go. So hopefully we look at this code in a couple years. Like, why did we do this?
Yeah. I mean, and since we always do the live stream, you can put like, okay, if you still have questions, look at your video.
What's that? Enable organizations. Oh, I'm just going to copy and paste that. Boom. Boom. All right. So yeah, this is one of those tough things where we have to line everything up perfectly.
Yeah.
There's probably a better way to do it where I'll create it like a grid class that these both inherit from, but I'll noodle on that.
We'll leave that for our refactor.
And then something up here. Match. Boom. There we go. All right. So yeah, I think everything looks pretty good. These little things will go away. So I say let's slap a button on. Let me get rid of those background colors.
Yep. Oh, can you reuse the one we have in the onboarding? I think you created a custom one. Yeah.
Let's see. Somewhere is a GitHub button. GitHub. We have a connect to GitHub button.
Yep.
And this is a
SVG text label. Yep. Has a gesture recognizer. Oh, you're muted again?
Yeah, I keep saying my mic is disconnected.
Oh.
I mean, it's right here.
Yeah. It hasn't gone anywhere.
Yeah, I don't know why that's happening. So yeah, this SVG text label. What's going on here? Okay, so this is a pancake view. It has a stack layout in it, and it has an SVG image next to some text. I think that sounds perfect. Let's see if we can. Let's see. The only difference is this says connect to GitHub in it. Why don't we just change this to be a GitHub button? Or yep. GitHub. It does have the gesture recognizer, so I guess it is a button.
Yeah.
So we'll call it a GitHub button, and then we'll just pass in another string. Align these a little bit better. In string, button text, and then button text, and we need to change wherever we were using that. So we should get a red squiggle. There it is.
Yep. Perfect.
And also here. All right. It's interesting. Nice. So it takes in, what does it take in a cancellation token? What are you doing with that cancellation token?
It's for the command.
Browser. Oh, this already has bindings and stuff. Oh. Ah! Oh, man. Let's see. So connect to GitHub button command parameter takes in. Actually, no, yeah, we still need all that stuff. So, okay, we can work with this. We just need to have something in the view model that has the same binding, that command. Okay. I feel quasi-comfortable moving forward with that. All right, so this is a new neck. Or no, this is just a GitHub
button. Yeah.
All right, so we don't have an automation ID yet, but it's not a bad idea just to go ahead and create one. So those all live in our settings page. And I already created some automation IDs.
Nice.
So this will be a GitHub button. And if you've never used an automation ID before, and you're wondering what this is, it's a way that you can UI test your app. Let's see, settings page, automation IDs, GitHub button. All right, and then we can say, we'll just put in some placeholder text for now, like open organizations. And we'll say cancellation token .none for right now. Leave that null. And let's see how that looks. So really what I want to see is just how's this button getting sized? How is the text? Is it readable? Is the button bigger than the space we just allotted for it in our grid? Yep. That's really what I'm concerned about here. Less concerned about the functionality of the button.
Yep.
So we'll have to play with that. Man, I hard coded that binding in there. I understand why I did it.
Yeah, like that was the only place we were gonna, at that time, we were gonna use like that functionality and that specific button, and we had the whole design made, so it was like kind of obvious to just hard code it. But yeah, now we're gonna need to find a way to just pass that binding in there.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking. In hindsight, I should have just created a binding.
Yeah.
But that's all good. All right, let's see how it looks. Oh, yeah, look at that.
Nice. That works.
Yeah.
I even like the size of it.
Same.
Nice.
Although open organizations, I don't know if I love that.
I did not write that in our mockups. Let's
I don't think
go
you did,
back
no.
to GitTrends. Let me see. Maybe I'll confirm right now.
Launch organizations.
No, because we're not launching. I think it was. Oh, remember we literally spent like 5 minutes or 10 minutes thinking about what to write at that button. So we actually put manage organization access. That sounds nice, but it's kind of big. Now
that's too many. Yeah, I don't think that'll fit.
Oh, here. We lower the text size though. We put it 12. What is the text size you have right now? For the button.
It will text.
Font size.
Oh, we passed it in, huh?
Yeah.
18.
Yeah, that's pretty big. So in the
I think
design, I have it in 12.
I think so I changed it to manage. It's just a couple more letters than open. And
Let's see. Let's see how it
let's see what this
looks.
looks like. I'm gonna launch it on the smaller iPhone.
Yeah.
Because that's probably the biggest concern.
Yeah.
Yeah, like manage organizations with the GitHub logo next to it. I mean, the GitHub logo tells you this is opening GitHub.
Yeah.
The whole carousel view is telling you what to do. And so,
Yeah. Makes sense to access is already implied. Yeah.
yeah, like I think,
Once you reach that point. Yeah.
yeah, I think so, right? I think with the text and the animations, then it'll make a little bit more sense. We will need to have to do a binding to make it not visible, because it should only be visible on the last carousel view.
Yeah.
And
a binding for the command bindable.
yeah, I mean,
Yep.
if I'm being honest, I'd rather just have a click handler because I could just handle that right here. But I could play around with.
Oh, could you make the emulator a bit bigger? You're kind of small. Yeah, so we can see like, yeah, yeah, the other
See
one as
all
well.
the details.
Yeah, nice. Okay, that works.
We'll assume these screen sizes are proportionate. All right. Oh,
Nice.
that fits.
Yep, and it has good spacing in both sides. I like it.
Yeah, that worked out surprisingly well.
I don't know if we have enough space in the middle for whatever description we're gonna write, so we're gonna have to find sweet, short and simple words to describe each stuff. Oh, but only the last one has the button, so it's really not a problem.
Right. Yeah, we could have. I mean, right now, this label only extends down to here.
Yeah.
But that's 1, 2, 3, maybe even 4 lines of text we'll get.
Yep.
So I think that'll be plenty.
Yeah.
Okay, so we added a button. That feels good. Let's see, it's 4.
The stream is over. That was our accomplishment. Yay!
We did it. So, yeah, I mean, what do we... Let's see. So we could add that button tapped functionality. Let's see, the GitHub button. We just need a property in the view model called connect GitHub button command. And let's see what's going on in our settings view model already. Settings view model. Let's do a search for this. There's a connect to GitHub button command. Oh man, this is a GitHub Authentication view model. That's right, I forgot I did that. So anything that had that. Womp womp. So, I mean, we could ask it for the name of the binding. I don't think that's without reason. Like, if we go back to this button, let me change name that file too. So, yeah, I mean, instead of hard coding this right here, we could again just have that as a parameter. So let's see how that looks. Like if I say in string command, what's the right nomenclature? Command path. Then,
Oh yeah, that works too. Because either way, we're just using the name of it here. So. Yep.
path. And again, that should break all of our buttons.
Yep.
All right, so this was name of the onboarding view model.connect to GitHub button command. It'll be something similar for, let's see, that's the new one. And then, except it's not onboarding view model, this is in welcome page dot, nope, welcome view model. There we go. Add a comma. And now, all right, so now, geez, we can go back to our settings view model. We can create a property called whatever we want. Let's see, where's all of our commands? So we can create this will be an async command. And we'll call it manage organizations. Let's see, GitHub user view tapped, copyright label tapped, item source, manage organizations button command. Why not?
Nice. Yeah, I like it.
So yeah, the other thing with this, this command needs those parameters. So like if we look at, we copy some code from this, let's see. So there's a welcome view model. There it is. So async command with the cancellation token and the Xamarin Essentials browser options. Woo! Easy, easy. All right. Was there? All right. So let's see, back to our settings view model. There it is. So this actually looks like this. Let's stop debugging so we get some more screen real estate. All right, so yeah, we have to pass in that cancellation token, browser launch options, so we can specify how we want the browser to look when we launch it. And then the cancellation token is for the timeout. Probably do cancellation token.none because there's not really a timeout. Usually, so the other buttons are for connecting to GitHub. That's your GitHub login.
Yep.
And so we wanted the cancellation token because what if the user's on an airplane and they'll never connect? It'll just be spinning forever.
Yep.
And then they'll blame us. We'll get a 1-star review. But yeah, that looks pretty good. So yeah, all we need is to initialize that button. So there's a execute, no. Button. Manage, that's right, manage organizations button command.
Yep.
And this is going to be, oh, let's put up the other commands. Whoop. New async command that takes in.
Oh, we need to copy again today.
Yeah, I wonder if it'll. Command. Can you just fill that in for me? Dang.
Did you see the new GitHub autopilot?
Yeah.
If we had this here, we could be like, put the comment and like complete it for us.
I haven't tried it yet because that blog post I read didn't call out C#.
Yeah.
I don't know if it works. If it works on C#, or if it works well enough for C#, but
It's a good
it
idea
looks
though.
pretty cool.
Yeah, I like the videos I've seen and people using it. Like I'm excited for the idea, right? Still haven't tried it though. It only has like a week, right? Or less than that, I think, like a few days
I mean,
that it was
I think I just
launched.
heard about it today or yesterday.
Yeah, I think it's only like 2-3 days.
Woo! All right, this view model's getting big. Right, we got a task. I don't want to pass this in as a tuple. I want to pass this in as parameters. Tweak that up above.
All right.
All right, so that'll be. I think it won't be anything. So really, all this is doing. Oh, and I have the code somewhere for this already, because we have that proof of concept done where it launches the browser.
Oh yeah.
So where did I put that code? Did I leave that in the page? Let's see, settings page. Login row, view row.
Oh
Handle.
wait, I saw something saying organizations, but I lost it. Organizations. Oh,
Launch
enable
organizations.
organizations.
Yeah, this is it
Handle
right
launch
here.
There it is. Perfect.
Is that being used? Okay, so that has been abandoned.
Oh, there's some visibility.
What's that?
Yeah, but that's the one, you see? It's doing the open browser with the URI that you have.
Oh yeah, it's definitely the one. I was just going to complain, like, if you have an unused field or unused parameter that Visual Studio warns you, it's like, hey, FYI, this code is not being used. I wish it would do that with methods as well. That'd be convenient.
Yeah.
Whoops, that's not what I want. Where am I? I'm in the wrong view model. Settings view model. There we go.
Oh, there it is.
So really, what we're going to end up doing is...
Yeah, take that away, take this away, put a sync on the method. Oh,
go ahead and return it. Boom. And all right, great. So that's already in there. This code should never be reached unless you didn't download the app from the App Store. Let's see. So that'll open the browser. The command should be wired up. Did we wire it up? Let's see. The view model.
No, I think we haven't done. Let's see.
We did not.
Yep, there it is.
So this will be name of settings. You actually put it in the wrong spot. It's tricky because it's a string. Would have accepted it. Settings view model dot manage organizations button command.
Oh, you see, there's one of the strings we're gonna have to translate. Manage organizations. So maybe put a to-do comment there.
Yeah, we might as well just slap that in the, because I have unit tests that fail. That the unit test will tell you all the missing translations.
Oh, okay.
So if we go ahead and slap this into our settings page constants right now.
Yep.
Then.
Yeah, because I'm afraid like if we leave it and continue doing more stuff and not put like the to-do or anything, we might forget about it.
Yep. Look at all these. We're not even using any of these anymore. Grant organization access. Okay, let's go. All that's going to get blown away. Cool. So this will be manage organizations. Wait, include organizations will stay because that's the button, right? Or the toggle.
I mean, you can still leave them because we might use some of those ideas you have there for the descriptions we need to do. So for now, we can leave those strings there. And then once we eventually have the description and the titles finished, we can delete them. Or take a screenshot and put it in the PR. I just want to remember what you wrote.
I'm just gonna blow them away.
All right.
It's not like. Oh, whoops! Did that backwards.
Yeah, in swap. Yeah.
So now what I'll have to do is jump to the English translations. Boop. Same thing here.
All right.
Plus all that, like you said, like we'll see it in the PR. It's all in the main branch.
Oh yeah, we can just see the diff. Yeah.
Yeah. So now this will be settings page constants dot page organizations. All right.
Perfect.
And it gave me a build error a second ago.
Let's see.
It might have been because I ripped out this code.
Yeah.
I was like changing the tires on the car as we were driving it. Oh no, there actually is a build error. Oh yep, forgot a comma. Oh, that's the existing one. Okay. So
cannot convert method group.
Oh, yep, that's true too. Because a command parameter can only have one type.
Yep.
And so this is my clever way of passing in two things via one command parameter.
Nice.
Don't know why that's happening. Microphone's back.
All right. Perfect.
Oh.
So more build errors. Okay, we're missing a parentheses, I think. Yep. There it is.
There. And let's just make sure. So that returns a task, so we don't need to await it in the command. So that'll show up in the browser. So the browser has a default color template. So the reason why I pass in the browser options as a tuple is we can tweak that, or pass in the browser options as a command parameter. So since, well, I don't know. So the default is just to match the current color palette.
Yeah.
But what we could do is we could match the orange of the carousel view, or I think it's teal is the last one. Yeah. So we could match it like that.
I mean, I will match. No, what I will match is the bar of the app. So the primary color. So if it's
that's what it does by default. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I would keep it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because remember, this is just like a dialogue of sorts we created, which is a carousel. But still, the branding has to be the main primary color that the bar and the app uses, right?
Yes. I hesitate because I don't match. When you do the onboarding flow, I match the colors of the onboarding flow because you haven't even entered the app yet, so you don't know what the app looks like, and it was kind of jarring.
Yeah, makes sense
to see it like that.
Yeah, because I think in the onboarding, the last one is the orange, right? Let's see. Oh no, it's the. Let me see.
Oh no, nothing's happening when I click it.
Yeah, the last one. Yeah, the last one is the orange. Okay. Where's our breakpoint? All right, now tap it.
Click the button. Nothing happens.
All right. So we missed something.
Yeah, something's not wired up properly. Let's see. So it is a command. Simplify that a little bit. Manage organizations button command. Great. Let's pop that down here.
And we initialized it correctly.
GitHub button. Where's the command path? And that binds the tap gesture recognizer command property.
Mm-hmm.
So that must mean, let's see. So the first thing is the automation ID. Yep. Second thing is the text. Yep. And the third thing should be setting to model manage organizations button command.
Yeah.
Let's try something real quick. Let's do a little click handler on it. You can say button.click. Not assign, invoke. Invoke just gives us easy access to this UI control still.
Yeah.
Oh, but it's a label, so it doesn't have. Okay, fair enough. Go into the button. Oh, but it's all gesture recognizers. Dang it.
Yep.
Command parameter.
I mean, can we see what are we getting on that? Like, it should be correct, like what we're initializing there. So
I tell you what, let me test another button to make sure that not everything's broken. So I disconnect and I go back to here. This button should still work.
okay.
Which
Yeah, this one works.
it does. Oh, that's fine. Just slowly loading.
Yeah, there it is.
Okay.
Right.
This exists in the settings page, so I shouldn't need to do any binding for it. It's organization's carousel frame. That should inherit the binding context of the page. And then in the frame. Oh, I'll bet that button.
Wait.
Yep.
It's the binding we have is from the data template instead of the root. Yeah. So we need to reference the other context.
Womp womp.
I know how to do it in SAML. You just do an X reference and get the ID.
So
the ID.
Yeah, you just got to go to the parent.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay, I'm gonna do what I should have done originally. We only have 4 minutes left, but basically, see, I think I do actually have to run at the top of the hour. Let me double check. Okay, no, I do have a little bit more time, if that's okay with everybody.
Yeah. I got no problem.
So let's see. I've done this before. Let's see. Some of these have. There's a binding somewhere I can copy paste code from. Let's see. What's the title label? Oh man.
What are you on a bindable property?
Yeah, I always forget the syntax, and so
Yeah.
trying to find. There we go.
There it is. Yeah.
Copy, paste, and
All right. Ricardo says, "Go ahead." He's also had some time.
thank you, Ricardo. So yeah, this should be command property.
Exactly. Yep.
And this should be command, and it should be an I command. And this should be I command.
You know
Actually,
what I need to start using more? It's snippet. Because you can literally just have like a snippet for the bindable property, and all of this will get like easily created, but I don't know. I always forget to create it, and I'm kind of lazy, so I might start creating some of those snippets for this scenarios, right?
Yeah, but I mean, but also like, how often do you create bindable properties. Like,
Yeah.
I don't do it very often. I'll double check something real quick. That yeah, I thought that was a typo. Shame on me.
Where is
This
it?
should be the name of the property, not the name of bindable property.
Yeah.
So fix that bug. See what crazy stuff that breaks. So type of command, and it lives inside the GitHub button. And creating buttons is just worst. I'm sorry, creating bindable properties is the worst. Like, bindings are great when you don't have to make them,
Yeah.
but once you see how the sausage is made, then it's a little unnerving. Like, oh, that's kind of how the Xamarin Form stuff works, and like things are barely being held together.
Yep.
Uh,
And definitely
okay,
the
so
first time you're exposed to like a bindable property as a beginner in Xamarin, you're like, what is this? Yeah.
yeah. Um, so now we also need the command parameter. And parameter, you're going to find that. And you're going to be an object. Is that nullable? No. And you'll default to null as well. It's your object. So,
Nice.
all right. So this changes. Oh, how should we do this? Because the user can change these at any time. So we should handle the change. So we should say, so these methods, these bindable properties have like property changed. So this will be on command property changed. Let's do make a method for us. I put my methods below my properties. So shift it down there. Same thing here. On command parameter property changed. This make a method automatically for us. Get rid of private because it's implied. All right. Let's get some more screen real estate back. So now we can handle when the user sets these. So what that means is we should create a read-only gesture recognizer up here. So tap gesture recognizer. And yeah, we just say equals new. And we just add that to our gesture recognizer here. That'll always exist.
Yep.
You don't want that. That's fine. All right. So now, anytime this changes, bindable object will always be this. So var GitHub button equals bindable. I think I'm doing this right. And then GitHub button. Shoot. That needs to be a public property so I can access it even though I'm in the class. Right? Because I can't. It's static methods. Oh my gosh. So I can't make tap gesture recognizer static because then it'd be the same tap gesture for every single button. Yeah, I just have to make it a read-only property. instead of a read-only field, which is a little annoying. Maybe we'll be able to change it. And then it's kind of like, what's the point of bindings? Well, temperature bind. Or actually, I think I just say command. Yeah. So var command equals I command new value. Do that. GitHub button dot. Oh, all right. Solve that. Parameter. Okay. So yeah, now anytime we have our command parameter, we have our command property. Anytime that changes, then this will fire, and we'll set the tap gesture command to be that command. We've got a command parameter property. Anytime that changes, then we'll set our command parameter to be that. And these are set right here.
Oh, wait.
And now we can do it with bindings.
Wait, we have get value and set value are wrong for command parameter. We have command property there. Line 39 and 40.
Oh, yeah, good catch.
Yep. That always happens to me with the bindable properties when I like making multiple. I just copy paste
right?
one. Yeah.
So that also means all that gets blown away. So, it's nice and concise. Okay, so now we go find every place where we use a GitHub button. Instead of passing that in, we do it as bindings. All right, so that's .row. Can we even do that with C# markup? We cannot. So,
I mean, we should. You should be able to bind the command, no?
it's just not included in this fluent syntax.
Let's see.
Oh wait,
bind command.
I'm sorry. Oh gosh.
Nice.
You got so turned around. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, dot bind. Oh, so there's if you're binding to a button, I don't think we have a button on this page. There is a dot bind command, and that's what I was looking for.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, oh it's still here.
Yeah.
I'm not going to use it though. I don't know if that'll work on this custom type. So all right, so bind GitHub button dot command property name of. Actually, I mean this is cleaner. I like how this looks, anyways. Whoops, name of. Okay, and then we gotta bind GitHub. Actually, these cancellation, those are hard coded, so we won't even bother. Button dot command parameter equals. We'll just pass these in. These are bound. Let's see. Button dot Oh. Oh man, I did something. There is what's missing. New GitHub button. Oh, I hate this. I added an extra parentheses somewhere.
Uh,
I'm missing a parenthesis here.
It's name of no. Okay.
Find. No, that was right.
Huh.
Invoke button, command parameter. What is that? Yeah. All right. Oh, I hate that. Actually, for control. Oh, this is not for the button. Okay. I see what's going on now. Whew. This was part of this.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right.
Nice.
Is it? Does that look nice?
I mean, it was confusing because I was not following. I was like, wait, why are we getting so much? But yeah, now it makes sense.
Yeah, man. Like the fluent syntax, I love it. It works great. But if you just do one thing, like forget a parenthesis, everything blows up, and you're just like, oh no, like where is it?
Yeah.
Then you have to read the code and find that mysterious missing parenthesis. So that's our new one. I'm gonna save that one for last. So I want to repair these ones. So we're adding bindings.
Yep, Ricardo says formatting skills are so important. Yeah, I totally agree.
All right, so we have GitHub.
Oh, there it is.
Command parameter. Name did this last time. Two name hubs.
Oh yeah, you were gonna type it again.
And then are these also? Yeah, we're passing the token right in there. Cool.
Perfect.
So similar story. Button dot command parameter. That, comma, no red squiggles. Nailed it.
Nice.
Oh my god.
We're getting there.
Microphone check. Yeah, it's crazy how like one little tiny change, like let's just add a button.
Yep, how that replicates. Ripples throughout the code.
Whoops. That's a dot bind GitHub button dot command property. Don't need a name of. So close. And then same. We're just gonna invoke. Assign it to that button without anything. Got none. That namespace. And type object. Oh, let's get everything happy. That's a tuple. You know, like that? Hold on. What do we do over here? Oh, I just have to cast it. Browser. Oh, shoot. What is it? Launch flags? Browser launch options. That should be kosher. All right.
Perfect.
Let me make sure that we do have it nullable. Yeah, browser launch options is nullable. Okay.
Now
So,
let's cross our fingers.
yeah, I mean, there's no way this won't work. We only changed
Yeah.
like 17 different files and probably 100 lines of code.
In one go.
We'll go ahead and put some
Breakpoints
breakpoints on here just to make sure everything is good. Yeah, that should be pretty good. I'm sure there's a bug in there somewhere.
Yeah. If it works immediately, then I'll be suspicious. I'll be like, huh. So we're gonna have to try the onboarding and then the other one just to make sure everything is good.
Yeah, I mean, here's everything we created the settings page automation ID for the button. Good. This is from the constants. So yeah, we updated those and the English version. Even the default is also English. We changed this button to bind to the command property, onboarding view model, .connect to GitHub button command. It used to be hard coded.
Mm-hmm.
And then this command parameter was none, and then these new launch options, none, new launch options. So that looks pretty good. Settings page, yeah, we deleted that orphan code, moved to the settings view model. Let's see, here we had GitHub cancellation token. So we need to pass in that token and the browser launch options, which we did. Command property to the command. That looks pretty good. Settings view model, we added the command. It's an async command. We just moved that code that was already existing into there. Yep, and that's nullable. We renamed the button. Changed everything. Fixed that bug.
Yep.
We tweaked the sizing here and added the button, added the box view for the indicator. And then the frame. Man, we did some work.
That was a lot.
But does it work? All right, so...
Dun, 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 dun. Okay,
right, so
breakpoint. That's good.
Yeah, I don't know what we're hitting, though. Command...
Parameter.
Come on, IntelliSense.
Yeah, what's the second one? The command parameter.
Oh, I'm sorry. Ha. So the command parameter, this is just the cancellation token with nothing in it. And see the command one fire, but it might be because it's a binding.
Yeah, let's see. Uh-oh, the command one didn't fire.
Still not firing.
But the command parameter did fire, so maybe we missed something there. Let's go to the definitions of... Oh. Okay, go to the bindable property. Go all the way to the top.
One second. Because this is... Wait, no, that's not the right button. Let's see. Boop, boop. Okay, so that worked fine.
Fire there?
Yeah, I was checking the welcome page to make sure we didn't break that.
Yeah.
So, let's see. Is it this one? The button command property.
Mm-hmm.
We definitely bound it. Didn't fire though. So what was your idea?
No, because now you went to the welcome page and it worked. It binded it. I thought the definition on the top, maybe we mistyped the name of it, or like left it. Go all the way to the top. Here. So yeah, I thought maybe we left command on the second bindable property, and maybe that was getting overridden, but no. So we need to see why.
Oh, because it's still binding. We just talked about this. Dang it.
Oh, we're
the binding.
Same binding context. Yeah.
All right.
So we need to reference the root.
Right. We need to go up. Man, I forgot why we even did all that stuff. We had to make it binding so we could reference the parent.
Yeah.
And somewhere in here, I swear I've already done that. So let me see if I can copy paste any of that code. Oh gosh. Let's get to Google. This is something I've done once or twice in my Xamarin Forms career.
Yeah.
Let's see, Xamarin Forms.
I've done it a lot, but with the SAML, so I don't know how we're gonna. Can you use the X reference in the C# for markup?
Dude, you don't need X reference. That's a XAML thing. We already have the reference.
Then that's it. You just get the binding context from that reference.
So we just have to tell it to bind. So it's
yeah, you can say source.
Relative source.
Yeah.
So I forget if I did that in here or not. Dang. All right. We can figure this out on the fly. GitHub button. Where are we going? Going back here. So what other options do we have? We have binding mode. Got converters. I think what I have to do is just make a custom binding. Property binding, base binding. There we go up. So probably a little tough to read. I'm just reading the IntelliSense.
String. Huh.
Default binding.
Oh, source. Wait, there was one for the source there. Go down. I mean, in the
yeah, no. I know what you're saying. Source won't. Oh, maybe. This is what I had in mind, but
carousel parent.
don't I even get a parent? That was going to be too easy, huh? This. Oh, because this is static. All right. So can't use dot bind. We just have to say set binding. I don't think this is included. C# for markup yet. I feel like I kind of own that library now.
Yeah.
I just converted it to Maui.
Oh, really?
That at Maui. Yep.
Nice.
Fun fact. I don't think I've told anybody about that yet.
Well, spoiler.
Internally, people know. Because yeah, of course, Xamarin Community Toolkit has to support .NET Maui, so that's what we've been working on internally. I should back out a blog post on that this week to build the community on the roadmap.
Nice.
But yeah, so if you say button.set binding, then binding base. That's really what it is. Okay. Yeah. So I did see binding base. Bindable property. List of binding base. I don't need a list though. Binding mode. Property, binding mode, path, bindable property, path, binding mode. Just understand what like this first one.
The last one has the binding base, I think. Because
I mean, these just you can have multiple sources and stuff.
See? Oh, yeah.
Right, but then it goes like, let's see. Mode. Basically, I just want it so I don't use the path. I just create a new binding. We do something crazy like this. Look at the definition. No? Oh, well. I'll tell you. Well, let's just get it working.
Yeah.
and then I can go back and see if we can make it pretty. All right, so target property, that's still the same. Let me say new binding. Oh wait, oh, is it source?
Yeah,
Man, I've totally
source.
done this before. I could have sworn I did it in this. Let me see if I could kind of see like ancestor type. I'm trying to pull up IntelliSense real quick. Ancestor. Relative binding source.
Oh,
Search for that. Yes. There we go.
nice.
Knew I did it before. All right.
Perfect.
And so, yeah, even here it was set binding. Do I have another one, or is that the only one? Oh, I have another one. Also in set binding. Okay.
Nice.
So, set binding. Source.
Why is it binding not working now?
Just
IntelliSense gonna work.
got all this.
Oh yeah, all the parentheses.
I think it should be a. Yeah, why is it doing that, huh?
New binding. Oh.
Oh. Okay.
Okay.
Forgot that part.
Yeah.
Name of will be this. All right, so source, relative binding mode, find ancestor. And so this should be settings page. Let's see if that works.
Okay.
Oh, easy. Gosh.
At least we had that code there, right? You remember?
Yeah, no, that was really hard to figure out because all the docs are in XAML, which
Yeah.
isn't surprising.
That's why I was like,
it's disappointing.
That's why I was like, I definitely have done it easy in SAML. I've not done it in C Sharps. But yeah, you
Which, like,
see how verbose it is in C Sharp, like. But
yeah, well, I mean that's always been my biggest complaint with the Forms team is they do everything
Yeah.
XAML first, and
Yeah.
it's like, well, why? Like, why are we even pushing XAML anymore? Like, you're just making things harder on people. And then, yeah, when you try to figure out the C# APIs for the equivalent XAML, then, yeah, sometimes you get really verbose. But,
Yep.
I mean, this reads really easily, though.
Yeah.
It all
It just looks long.
makes
Yeah.
sense. And I should probably add
Okay.
another C# for markup support for that. But
Let's see. It's running. It's running.
yeah, the code compiled.
So far, it has not broken.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully I did that right settings page because these were binding. Just binding to a page.
Yeah, a
Just want to
page.
make sure they're not binding to a view model. Yeah, that should
Yeah.
be good.
Page. Yeah, because remember the page has the binding to the view model, so you already got it there.
So I didn't get the breakpoint on command again.
And we
Yeah.
didn't get it on command parameter now, I think.
It broke on command parameter. So like if I go and come back,
Okay. Oh yeah. I just
but it
didn't
doesn't
notice
break.
command.
And that was the same problem we were having. I mean, we
Yep.
fixed a different problem that we hadn't hit yet. This is the button. We're setting the binding. GitHub button command property. Command property.
But the bindable property is working, like it's correctly defined, because when we go to the onboarding, it triggers.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh no, it is the same problem. Because again, the binding defaults to the item source. So we never found the ancestor. So there's other options here. Find ancestor.
Oh, what is this?
Context.
Templated parent?
Self. Templated parent. Yeah, let's check out those docs real quick. So ancestor level. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what I played around with before. So where is it? Here. We can say, so ancestor level defaults to 1. So let's try this with 2.
Okay.
Because ancestor 1 would be the frame it sits in. So then 2 should break us out of that frame. Although the frame has the same binding. Oh, but it's not typo settings page. Stand by. We might have to do this a couple times. I've got a couple ideas. We can either keep incrementing this number if we don't hit settings page, or we can flip back to 1 and just say to bind to the frame.
Yeah.
Or I just take this offline and keep incrementing the number.
I mean, yeah,
we builds keep taking 30 seconds.
I mean, we can definitely, because we already added the button. We see it almost working. We just need to fix that binding, right? The binding context for that. And we should have it good to go. So I guess we can, let's see.
Yeah, didn't break.
Yeah, we can definitely see it on next week's stream. I'm confident you're gonna have that context resolved. Ricardo says it runs. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so silly.
We were so close.
Item source. So the problem is what I'd like to see is just the tree of ancestors. So I put a breakpoint here. See what that'll show. Because yeah, I don't know how many ancestors to go back. But yeah, I mean that's basically it. We just have to traverse the tree until we find our settings page. Or I tweak this and look for the frame, but I think we did a good job today. Yeah. It's a lot more work than I anticipated.
I would say now the only thing we need to focus now for next week is gonna be definitely the descriptions and maybe the overlay behind. Not sure though. Let's see, we have the button done and add X button to close carousel. Yeah, I think the first hour we can do descriptions, so we can try and start getting those translations, and then we can do the overlay.
Yeah, I think that sounds good. There's just a ton of work to do.
Yeah. Well, all right. I guess we're gonna pause the stream here until next week. Thank you everybody for joining us. As always, thank you, Ricardo. You're always there supporting us. And I hope you have a great rest of the week, everyone. And that you enjoyed today's stream. You enjoyed our hotfix and our quick step 1 resolution in 2 hours. And yeah, Brandon, do you have anything that's coming up? Any event that we should let the community know?
Say stay tuned for that. Xamarin Community Toolkit announcement. We'll fill you in with what the plan is. I mean, you can sleep easy knowing Xamarin Community Toolkit will support Maui. But we've also got a surprise mixed in with that. It's all good news though.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's probably about it. We'll come back next weekend.
Perfect.
Keep
guys.
cranking on this stuff.
All right. Take care, everyone. Bye.